Welcome to the Puck Prattlers Podcast, where we talk about all things hockey, especially the NHL, from newsworthy events to game recaps and, of course, spicy hot takes. My name's Matthew Taylor, and next to me is...
I'm Robbie Goche. Welcome to the first ever episode.
We're very excited to be here. We've been talking about this for a while, and we just love all things hockey and want to start a podcast, so we're just going to kind of spew nonsense at you, and that is what prattling means. Well, the word prattle is technically just like childish talk, but I like to say that it's spewing nonsense, so that's what we're going to be doing about hockey here. A little bit about ourselves. Like I said, my name's Matthew Taylor, and I have been involved in hockey almost my entire life. Since I was about 3 or 4 years old, I played house league most of my career and then ended up in the rep system in my local team. Thank you very much. That's a clap from Robbie in case you're not watching.
You should have went pro.
Yeah, absolutely. I blew out my knee. That's why I didn't go pro.
Definitely not because he couldn't skate.
Anyway, I then went on to scout for the local junior A team, and I've been doing some analytics as well. And I just love all things hockey. I just watch all the time, and on to you.
All right, thank you, Matt. So I'm Robbie Goche. For those of you watching who somehow you found us out without being a friend or family, that'd be awesome. So my hockey background, I started in Timbits like every other youngster. I love the game. I played rep hockey for 9 years. I was lucky enough to get a couple OMHA titles in there, won a Halton Region Championship for high school, and best one yet, I actually won my intramurals hockey championship for my university last year, which is maybe the most excited I've been since I was like 5 years old at Christmas. Outside of hockey, I've been lucky enough to play university level baseball for the past 5 years. And I also had a short stint where I played 2 years of semi-pro before I blew out my arm, and now I can't throw things above 60 miles per hour. As you can tell, I am a huge Detroit Red Wings fan, and as Matt talked about, our reason we wanted to start the podcast is because we love hockey, but for me personally, the only reason I want to talk about hockey right now is because the Red Wings are finally good again, and I don't have to want to leave the room every time I see a Red Wings game on.
Well, yes, they do have the Brinkat now, who started off very hot.
Oh, the cat.
It's kind of slowed down as of late, but as a Sens fan, it's frustrating to see him really get into it this year.
Well, obviously the Sens didn't know what to do with him, and the system they were running simply didn't complement his sheer shooting capabilities and his offensive power that he's able to show on the ice.
Yeah, the dump and chase hockey that everybody loves in Ottawa right now. But
God, I hate that.
I mean, like, I wouldn't blame it on the systems. It's just he complained about playing behind Brady Tkachuk, and I think Brady's a better player. So it's just hard when you're playing second line and you think you're better than that, even though he's not really much of a play driver, in my opinion.
Brady Tkachuk, Ram 1500. Brady Tkachuk is maybe the ugliest player in the NHL. No offense to the guy, but he's just someone who I don't want to watch on the ice ever. He simply just, I don't think he carries himself very well. I think he goes into the game and he's out there to be someone that you don't like, which I simply don't respect in the game of hockey.
What do you mean? Like, he's perfect. You'd want him on your team.
Oh, yeah, I'd love him on my team.
Exactly.
I'd love him on my team.
He's a leader. He leads by example. Obviously, he's not great defensively, but like, he absolutely goes out there and mauls people. He gets to the dirty areas. He scores goals. He gets assists. Like, he's a great player.
Oh no, he's a great hockey player. Don't get me wrong, but
as a division rival,
outside of being a Sens fan, looking in on Brady Tkachuk, when I see that I have to face him, I'm like, oh crap, not this guy again.
Yeah, it's like playing like a Marshawn or like a kind of like a Marshawn Reeves hybrid.
It's like facing like a 6'3" guy when you're in minor Adam, and you're like, oh shit, not this.
You go up
not
against
this man child again.
Against the 6'5" defenseman.
Yeah,
in your first year of hitting, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
And you're 4'9". You just got your first armpit hair
Coach,
last
can I
week.
not play this shift or what?
Exactly. Okay, so just a brief disclaimer. The Red Wings game might be playing in the background. We are doing this on a Saturday night, not because we have nothing better to do.
But because we have nothing better to do.
Because
look at what we're dressed as. Our life is hockey.
Yeah, we're definitely going to really cool parties after this podcast, I swear to God.
It's not 11:30. Yeah, so anyway, we were talking about this before, and like the Atlantic Division is kind of a wagon this year. I mean, they've been great in the past, and some teams have taken a step back, but it just seems so much tighter this year. Like, you'll look at like the Leafs, they've kind of taken a step back on their roster. I feel like to start off the year, they've gone really slow. Obviously, they're still like second or third in the division, but the roster doesn't seem as good as years past. Like Klingberg's on there, and obviously he's more of an offensive defenseman, and it's kind of taking a step back from previous years. Bertuzzi looks like a ghost of himself. I've heard rumblings that he's injured, but I don't know. I don't love Domi's play style and doesn't do much. And then they're going to most likely play Reeves 82 games, which I think he's more of like a 40-50 game player.
Bertuzzi looks like someone who worked construction in the summertime and freaking hacked darts for 10 hours a day.
Just plays hockey when he can.
Yeah, it's a side gig. Bertuzzi's I loved his uncle. His uncle Todd. Todd was a big role model of mine when I played hockey. He
Robbie just loves killing people on the ice.
You know what? We're not going to talk about he made a bad choice when he was on Vancouver, but Todd was a great player, and Tyler, he's kind of filling the same shoes, but it seems that he's not really fitting into the Leafs system.
No, and he was great in Boston in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, he went off. He was averaging more than a point a game.
Something's got to be off with his game, because like even in Detroit, he looked good and he didn't really have many players around him.
Well, yeah, there's always a sense where he just kind of needs to settle in.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, and it's early in the season still. Like we'll see, but just off rip, it just seems like he's not really fitting in too well.
No, I don't know if Matthews and that ghetto hairline of his is kind of, I don't know. I feel like the Leafs, they feel entitled, and I feel like maybe their like core isn't the most accepting, and they might not have been able to make Tyler feel like he fits quite yet. You know?
Well, it's like they got Domi, they got Reeves, and they got Bertuzzi. It was like they were going for this gritty get.
Yeah.
And it's like no one's really playing that. Like you saw, I don't know if you
Domi
saw
and Bertuzzi both are underachieving. Reeves is Reeves. Reeves is the guy. He's going to go out there. He's going to fight the odd shit.
But the thing is like Marchand went after Liljegren the other game.
Yeah.
Completely can opened him. Not a single player did a thing about it.
No.
It's like they went to get these gritty guys, and like they're not doing what they were brought in to do.
Yeah. Well, the Leafs, they're soft. They're soft, and they're like, we got rid of Kyle Dubas. We're gonna bring in a guy. We're gonna bring in we're gonna get some guys that are going out there. They're gonna be gritty. They want to fight. They want to protect their players.
Yeah, and I mean, like, off topic, but kind of on topic. It's like they went out and got Brad Treliving, and it's just like I always notice this in hockey. It's just they recycle people.
Yeah,
it's like you don't go out and get new people. It's like coaches get recycled, GMs get recycled, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Back to the Atlantic Division.
I just want to talk about what it's like growing up in an area filled with Leaf fans.
Yeah.
Especially not as a Leaf fan myself, obviously.
Yeah, I grew up a Sens fan, and let me tell you, growing up in like near Toronto was absolute hell when it came to hockey.
Yeah.
Like, especially for you as well. Like, we were both in the Atlantic Division with them. So it's like, obviously Detroit was in the West.
Detroit was in the West for absolutely no good reason. Yeah. they've always been in the East.
Detroit changed locations.
Yeah. On the globe they've always stayed the same, but for some reason they have transferred from the West to the East. But dealing with Leafs fan your whole life, they're all GMs.
Oh my goodness!
They all know what's best for the team. And they
and
are
it's always playoffs, and it's always the cup after a week into the season.
Yeah. After the first week, they're winning it all. By the first round, they're like, "Oh, not this again. We need to rebuild." It's completely ridiculous, and I know because we are locals to Toronto, and this is our first podcast. We're gonna have a lot of Leaf fan listeners. And you know what?
And we're just trashing on them all podcast, baby.
From the bottom of my heart, you guys suck. Okay? Each and every one of you. You're not a GM. Your team's not going to make the Stanley Cup Finals again this year. And going forward, if you want to win ever, you're going to need a different core.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think their decor does it. I don't love their goaltending. I mean, Wall's kind of played out of his ass so far. And maybe he is he's young.
Well,
so
Wall's
he
looking
could
good.
Be it.
Yeah.
But there's been all this hype on Samsonov before the season. And in Washington, he didn't look good.
No.
And I mean, they're losing to the Sabres right now as we speak, 3-2, because it just popped up on the screen and I saw that. But
let's go Buffalo.
They're not a defensive team, and come playoff time, that's what you need is big guys and defense.
Yeah,
that's how defense wins championships. It's been the same for I don't know my entire life, and probably way before that.
Yeah, 100%.
And it couldn't be closer to the truth.
No, I agree. I 100% agree.
Look at Vegas last year; they were the best defensive team in the league, and they go and win the cup.
I hate Vegas for being new.
I
hate Vegas for being new and teams being in the league for decades.
Well, what they made the finals their first year in the league.
The draft or the lottery
expansion
draft was rigged.
Why?
Because they were so set
just
from the
beginning.
One.
I just don't think teams knew what to do.
No one knew what to do.
Look at all the trades they made.
Everyone was thinking about themselves. Okay, everyone was like, "What's best for us?" And you should think about that. But then, what's best for us? And then Vegas was like, everything's good for us now, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was ridiculous. Anyways, so as I said, we're listening to or watching the Detroit game in the background. We had to turn the volume off, unfortunately. But Boston needs some new announcers. Holy shit. No offense to Boston accents, but you're not pronouncing words right.
Larkin.
Dylan Larkin. Ricochet, Dylan Larkin off the boards.
So we're just shitting on everybody tonight. That's what this podcast is, really.
Until we get to the Ottawa Senators and Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, then they're perfect in our eyes.
Those guys are probably... Well, they're not probably. They are the best two teams in the league right now. Obviously.
Put Detroit back in the West. That's the Stanley Cup final right there.
Detroit was in the West. Vegas wouldn't be doing half as good as they are right now. Let's be honest. Okay, back to the Atlantic Division battle. So what did you have to say about Florida?
For missing Montour and Ekblad, they've honestly looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Their decor, on paper, is just kind of trash in my opinion. But like I've always said, is the regular season's all about scoring.
Yeah.
You just notice that it's just the high scoring games, and Florida's such a high event team that I don't know, they just get away with it in the regular season. And once Montour and Ekblad come back, honestly, they're probably going to be money again. I thought they were missing the playoffs this year, and it's still early. Obviously, I can't say that they're going to make it off this start, but it's just they look good.
Florida looks solid. They've been solid for a while now, and I don't really see that changing in the coming years. They've done a good job of making strong trades. For example, they brought in Kachuk not too long ago, and they gave up Huberdeau, right? But Kachuk's better.
He is better. I mean, they gave up Uyghur as well, but Huberdeau had an ass season last year. He started off the season this year bad again. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know what happened to him. He was easily one of the best wingers in the game.
Doesn't have Barkov.
He's just
he needs Barkov.
But no, I mean he makes plays on his own, but he just wasn't doing that last year, and he hasn't done it to start this year.
Well, he's a playmaker, no? Huberdeau's a playmaker. And who did Calgary give away to get a playmaker? A goal scorer. They gave away their goal scorer. So how are you going to compliment your goal scorer with a new playmaker if you don't have a goal scorer.
Good point. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That first line is looking rough without Gaudreau and Kachuk.
Yeah,
but
no, they don't have anything.
Yeah, it's
Calgary. The whole Alberta, Edmonton's looking shit too. McDaddy hasn't been putting up the numbers he usually puts up.
It's
that will change.
But
McDavid's McDavid. So he'll definitely figure it out. Unfortunately, nothing against him, but he's not a Red Wing, so I'm obviously rooting against him. Anyways, yeah, Florida's going to be good. Florida's going to be good every year. They're going to be a tough opponent. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and then we got Montreal in the Atlantic as well, who's honestly, like, record-wise been decent to start the year. But they're going to fall off.
Yeah, Montreal's not going to be much.
They've got Suzuki, who's a great player, who kind of, like, looks like a shadow of himself this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Normally a 200-foot player making plays all the time. And Matheson's been solid again. He's been a true number one. But they don't have much besides that. Not much depth on D or forwards. Goaltending is, like, I don't think they have a true starter, to be honest.
Yeah. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I like Montreal just because how much they hate the Leafs.
Good point. We can bond with Habs fans on that.
Yeah, I can.
Habs fans absolutely hate those.
I can bond with Habs fans because at the end of the day, the Habs fans are putting more work than I am with getting up against the Leafs. And you know what? You got to love Cole Caulfield. You got to root for your short kings out there. I'm no 6 foot man.
You just like the Brinkat, that's why.
Oh yeah, I love the Brinkat. Who doesn't love the Brinkat?
Me?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Montreal, they're not going to be anything special. They're not going to be anything special for years coming. I would give them a 5-year period before they really.
Suzuki, when he's on his game, is that he is a true number one center when he's on his game.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, like, one guy's not going to change it. But when you get, like, a superstar talent, you can build around that.
Yeah.
And people want to come and play there.
Yeah.
But it's tough because it's, like, they don't have a good team right now, so I don't think anyone wants to go play there.
No.
And then on top of that, you have, like, the Canadian media. And, like, especially in Montreal, it's such a hub city for hockey.
It is, yeah. No, it's huge.
They go so hard against their team. It's like, why would I want to go there if the team sucks?
Yeah. What do you think Montreal needs to do?
Like, I don't know. Like, they need to start with a goaltender, I think.
Carey.
That's a big blow.
Well, they had Carey, and you know what? Even when they were nothing, Carey brought them to a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, and I mean, they had the helps of Suzuki in that playoffs, though. And
but he was so young. Like, he wasn't who he is now.
No, but he still plays, like, the 200-foot game.
Yeah.
That brought him as the number one center. And, like, they had a true number one off the bat because he plays the right way.
Yeah, he does.
But yes, Carey was unbelievable.
Carey was the carrier.
Yeah, exactly. He's money.
Yeah. He's money.
Watching.
So just before we go into anything else about the Atlantic Division, I just want to touch on how this podcast is going to be put on 2 different platforms. We're going to provide it through Spotify and YouTube. I highly recommend you watch it on YouTube. As you can see,
we get crazy.
Yeah, we get crazy. Okay, we get really crazy over here, and we're using a lot of facial expression,
and hand gestures,
a whole lot of hand gestures. And you know what they say? 90% of language is body language, and personally, I think I use my body to speak a lot.
Robbie gets down on the dance floor. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, well, yeah, quick. You know, if you give me a dance floor, I might break a move. But also, our outfits are freaking awesome. We got 2 different hockey jerseys on. I got a pretty cool hat on. I was
rocking Clayton Keller,
the one and only. But he's been stuck in Arizona for 8 years now.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be a lot better than they were.
You know what? I really don't care how Arizona does until they get out of a university stadium to play their games.
I mean, like, it's cool that they sell out, but... Yeah.
Oh, it's cool, yeah. Oh, they got 4,000 fans at my game tonight. Oh, junior C hockey might get better.
Though. Like they're not going to make playoffs or anything, but Like, you got a good young core there between, like, Michelli, McBain, Hayden, now Cooley, and then, of course, Keller, Valimaki on D. Like, I'm liking their team. I think they're not going to be bottom feeders this year.
Do you think if they get better, they might get a real arena?
Well, they're looking into it, but I really don't know the situation, to be honest.
Honestly, I think they're going to get better fans if they're university people anyways. I would, you know how great it would be if you were going to university and it just so ends up that your local professional sports team is playing at your stadium.
Well, like,
I wouldn't miss a game.
No,
I wouldn't miss a game.
Absolutely. And the tickets are probably dirt cheap.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know that for a fact. But,
yeah.
But I know, like, parking's free there. So, like, they're not making any parking revenue. So they're definitely going to get a new arena. It's either that or
they're getting
relocate.
screwed. They're getting screwed financially.
Because, yeah, absolutely. Like, they got no revenue coming
in. No, absolutely none. But... yeah, hopefully Arizona figures it out. But it's got to be an
electric arena.
Oh, I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever been to a university hockey game?
I went to Western Michigan U against Ohio.
Against Ohio State? Or?
Sorry, Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's pretty
University
awesome.
hockie games are better.
Yeah, you get the band involved.
Yeah, and then the fans are always like going after the opposing goalie.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, as a university athlete myself, not a D1, not a D. I play in the OUA. Okay, I'm nothing special. I wasn't able to go, get a scholarship or anything. I actually still have to pay to play, but it's fun. It's fun going to other games. It's fun playing. It's I feel like the best part about the games almost is being able to chirp the other team.
Yeah, not to brag, but I was the social media manager of my high school baseball team.
Yeah, back in the day, Matt tried out for our high school baseball team.
We don't have to have the tryout part.
We can talk about it.
I tried out for the social media manager, and I got the job.
Matt brought in his mom's baseball or softball glove from frickin' women's league.
It was my dad's.
No, it wasn't. He brought his family baseball glove into tryouts, and after a hard-worked effort, unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the team. But I would say he made one of the biggest differences out there.
I made a huge impact. The boys were fired up every game.
Yeah.
We got screwed. Too many rainouts and delays. And
I'm pretty sure that year we played 4 games.
4 games for sure. But I think I was the best manager to ever exist, and I didn't win Manager of the Year at the school.
We're not going to get on that topic.
We are going to get on that.
No,
topic.
We shouldn't, because that's going to take the rest of the time we have. Anyways, back to the Atlantic Division. We need to talk about Tampa.
Tampa is an interesting team. Their roster is way worse than it was in years past. Obviously, they got the rest last year. That's been a big factor because they played so much hockey over the last 4 years. But losing Vasilevsky is a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Johansson guy steps in. He's already got 2 shutouts on the year.
Johansson.
But it's, Red Wings score. Tie game. Dylan Larkin, baby. Good protect. Good goal. Robbie's absolutely fired up.
Tampa's not looking good. Tampa is not themselves. They're not going to be that team that you're afraid to face in that first round. And I think they're just getting old.
Yeah, but I mean, like you still have Braden Point, who's just disgusting. And he turns it on in playoffs as well.
Yeah.
Tiernak's a great shutdown defenseman, but I'd put him as a 3-4 in a lineup, and you got him playing number 2, which is just tougher minutes. And Hedman, man, he's just not himself. Obviously won the Norris a few years ago.
Yeah.
But
Hedman's been a problem for a while now in the league.
I know, a few years, man. He just hasn't looked good.
No.
And come playoff time, it's different. He turns it on a bit, but in the regular season, he's just like a ghost of himself.
Yeah, maybe it's time for them to just make a sketchy salary cap move.
Yeah, that's what they like to do.
Yeah. Kucherov's hurt again. What do you think they need?
I don't know. I don't love their forward depth. I don't love their defenseman depth, and obviously Vasilevsky's out right now.
Yeah.
For a while as well.
It just doesn't look like Tampa.
No,
It's not
definitely
the Tampa you know.
No, 100%.
Which, honestly, I think is good for the game. Because, no offense to Tampa Bay, but who the hell in Tampa Bay watches hockey? Like, we just had a World Series with Texas and Arizona. And although those sound like great baseball states or places, that is the worst showing or viewership they've ever had for a while now.
I would have loved for Arizona to win that.
Yeah, I know. But like sick. Texas is exciting.
They
like,
looked good, and wasn't like a couple of their guys injured?
Yeah. They their big guy, I forget his name. He got hurt in this second or the third last game. Yeah, Aldoris. He was setting records for like most home runs. This isn't a baseball podcast.
God damn it, Robbie! Let's talk
about DeBrincat. Hey guys, for this quick intermission, I'm gonna ask some questions that hopefully you'll respond in the comments. First question is, what do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want us to talk about? As an inexperienced person in the podcast industry, me and Matt kind of went into this and we wrote down some ideas, what we thought we could have some good conversations on. But in the grand scheme of things, I believe that what we want is for our viewers to be happy. And the best way to do that is to get your insight on what you want to hear. So whether it be the best jerseys, the best goal songs, hockey cards. My dad wants to come on the podcast and talk about hockey cards. And you know what? As maybe lame as that sounds, at the end of the day, who didn't have a hockey card collection growing up? And I think everyone did. So let's have some ideas coming. Throw it in the comments. Send me a text. Send me a direct message. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. We have many ways you can reach us. We have an email. You can send us any email you want at prattlerspuck@gmail.com. That's prattlerspuck@gmail.com. We're open to any intel you have. You could just tell me my outfit's ugly, what you want, say what you want, give us some feedback, because the only way we're going to get better and provide better content is if you're able to provide us that insight. I think Matt's coming back now.
So DeBrincat.
Yeah, DeBrincat.
Let's hear your take on DeBrincat.
Well, honestly, I freaking loved DeBrincat at the start. DeBrincat was the man. Detroit came out freaking flying.
Meow.
Yeah, the cat. We'll call him the cat. So the cat, great shot. All right? The cat is the guy you want shooting the puck if you want to score a goal. And him and Larkin, they seem to have something click right from the beginning. And as of late, though, like, neither of them have really been producing at the levels they started off at.
Yeah, DeBrincat started hot. Don't get me wrong. And, like, you're starting to see what he was in Ottawa last year.
Yeah.
He feeds off other players.
He
Obviously,
does.
he makes some plays, but he's just not making enough plays for me to like him. And I tried to give him a chance in Ottawa because I wasn't a fan of him in Chicago.
Yeah, but he said some things.
It wasn't that. It was just how he played last year.
Yeah.
He just didn't live up to the standards of all the hype that people had around him. And
yeah,
I couldn't get around it. And then he goes on and he leaves Ottawa. And
well, who was
talking shit about them.
Who was DeBrincat playing with last year?
Well, ends at Norris injured last year. And so he was mainly like all around, but I think Pinto and Joseph or Pinto and Batherson would have been his line mates for the most part.
And who the hell are they?
So what?
Who the hell are they? You know, I'm not seeing them anywhere. I don't see them on the highlights. I don't see NHL
you don't
promoting
see Pinto
them
on the highlights for getting a 41 game suspension.
Okay, well, I saw Pinto on the highlights for gambling. Like, give me some more intel. Like, what did Pinto do? What did he gamble on? He's hurt, no?
What?
He's hurt, no?
No. He just wasn't signed yet.
He was a free agent.
Well, he's an RFA.
RFA, restricted. Okay, whatever. Anyways, like the guy got kicked out for 41 games.
Yeah, I mean,
that's half a season.
It is half a season, and I'm surprised it's already started, to be honest, because he's not even signed or with a team.
So it's like, thank God, because like
they're not going to sign him now.
Yeah,
they're like Ottawa kind of got lucky
saves a lot of team a lot of money.
I know, but they got lucky with the fact that they're not making him sign him, and they're starting the suspension already.
Yeah. No, it's weird. It's weird. He got 41 games. You think that he said something? I hate to get conspiracy.
What do you mean said something?
Like, you think he did something or pissed someone off specifically where it kind of led to that?
No, I just think the NHL is strict about gambling, and like I've read into it a bit, but I obviously don't know the full story. But they were talking about like the fact that a third-party user was using his account to bet on NHL games, and that's just a big no-no in the league.
A third party, so like his buddy?
Yeah, like someone like used his account, they've tracked the IP address or something.
And he was the one that took. Damn. That sucks.
But he admitted to it, and he completely said, like I'm at fault, and he apologized and all that, so clearly he knew what he was doing, but I guess, like, apparently the investigations were going on for a while, so that's the reason why contracts talk stopped.
What were we talking about?
Pinto?
No, DeBrincat.
The
cat.
The
meow.
fucking cat. Meow.
Anyways, so DeBrincat, okay? So here's my theory. Last year, no offense to Mr. Suspension and his other freaking lineman, I don't care who he is. Larkin's better.
Okay, but what's that going to show you about DeBrincat? He needs good players.
No, I 100% I agree, and I think that that's okay. Like, look at Draisaitl.
Okay, don't even.
Look at Draisaitl's.
Draisaitl's disgusting.
Draisaitl's gross, but who's he playing with? McDaddy.
On the power play, he plays with McDavid.
McDaddy.
Yes, but Draisaitl's like the second best center in the world.
In the world?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sidney Crosby's in there too, you know.
Crosby is not himself.
Crosby's had a lot of concussions.
Yes, that's fair. And I'm not going to go into that, but I don't know. Crosby's a top 10 center, don't get me wrong.
I want to see Crosby do a multiplication table.
I don't think he's top 5 in the league.
12.
Right now.
Yeah. But I do think Draisaitl strives more when he plays with McDavid.
Yeah, but like you can argue that McDavid strives more when he plays with Draisaitl some years because Draisaitl's just
I think, and you know what? I think hockey's a team game, and you need people
hockey's absolutely a team
and I
game.
think people need people who can they
you
build
look
off
at the
of.
NBA, and they can play like 40 minutes a night. And
NBA is a completely like. It's almost saying, like an individual game.
Like hockey is the most team sport in the world.
I 100% agree. Yeah,
because you need depth throughout your entire lineup. You need everybody clicking, everybody playing defense, and your goalie to be on to win games. And it's all about winning games. It's not about individual skill. And then you look at the teams who put up individual skills. Like you look at Toronto's, like Matthews and Marner.
Yeah.
And then you look at Vegas's, who just buy into the system and they're just a complete full-out team.
Vegas, the reason Vegas is so good is because they're able to buy into that system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're going to, like, probably one of the best coaches in the league.
100%. 100%. And you know what? I think DeBrincat playing with Larkin, two guys who, well, Larkin especially, hasn't had someone they've been able to, like, kind of build off of.
Agreed.
And I think DeBrincat and Larkin are both going to show how DeBrincat's going to be back to his old self, and Larkin's going to have career numbers this year because they're able to build off another player. Especially because, you know, Lucas Raymond, he's in his third year now, and he's going to start becoming that player that he's been projected to be. Like in his first year, what was he? He was a absolute fucking beast.
Yeah.
And that first line for Detroit, oh my God, don't get me started. I have dreams about those guys.
Well, since you got to talk about Detroit, I'm going to shift things to the Sens.
Oh, boy.
Who have just locked up their players. Like,
yeah.
They're, as many complaints as I have about the Sens, like, they're not afraid to sign their players. Like,
no.
We got Sanderson, including this year, and I'm going to include this year for all the contracts, for 9 more years. Because he's on his final year of the ELC, and then he's got an 8-year extension coming. And then you got Stützle for 7 more years, Brady for 5 more years, Shabbat for 5 more years, Batherson for 4 more years. I'm forgetting people because that's just how Norris for 7 more years. Like they lock up their guys. Like they trust their core. And I've got so many complaints about the Sens. Don't get me wrong, but that's just great to see that they believe in their guys and they want to sign them.
Yeah, and I think the Sens are they've had their bad times.
Oh, the last 5 years have been horrible.
But if you look back on the Sens, you had that Jason Spezza, you had that Daniel Alfredson, you had that freaking Danny Heatley, Maybe that's coming back. Maybe they're like this is it again,
Mm-hmm.
And they're slowly they had the cycle of life, they died for 5 years there. They're reborn. They're slowly coming back. They're gonna be that team in that future. Detroit. They're gonna be those teams.
This is one of the best Sens rosters I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that the Sens struggle with is staying healthy.
Yeah.
And they're struggling with that again this year. But when healthy, you have a decor of Sanderson, Chychrun, Shabbat, Zub, and what I prefer is Clevin Hamonic. And that is money.
And you know what? Shabbat is an absolute Iron Man out there. All I remember is World Juniors Shabbat playing like over 30 minutes a game. Like that guy can put in some time.
Yeah, and he eats minutes like a champ.
Yeah, he does.
I get so frustrated with him because just D side of the puck, he makes so many mistakes and he doesn't read the play well and he always attacks the puck and skates at the player instead of skating back with the play. But he does eat minutes, and it's been tough on him the last few years because he's been that number one guy in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I think he's more of a 3-4.
Yeah.
And having Sanderson and Chychrun now just helps him so much more. But I think like Sanderson and Chychrun as your top pair, and then you put Shabbat next to Zub, and that's just like one of the best top fours because Sanderson and Chychrun are like mid-season form already to start the season.
Yeah.
Chychrun is like, oh my goodness, does Chychrun make me happy to have him on this team.
How old are those guys?
Sanderson is, I want to say 20 or 21, and Chychrun's like 24.
Oh, they're young.
Or 25 maybe.
Shabbat's that age too, right?
Yeah, he's around that age
24,
as well.
25.
I'm not familiar with ages, to be honest, but...
You don't know their birth dates?
If I had to guesstimate, that would be it. But Chychrun he makes so many plays offensively, and then he's shut down defensively. Yeah. Sanderson is still trying to find his offensive touch, and they're putting him on PP1, which I love, because I think he's got that in him. Because his edges are just his edge work's just insane. Yeah. But defensively, man, he's so solid, and he barely makes mistakes. And it makes me so happy to just see these guys finally thrive. What pisses me off, however, is the lack of defense from the forwards and just how much they screw the defensemen up because they're just like they cheat for offense. They're so bad in their own zone. And like they don't buy into the defensive system, and then people like get so mad at DJ Smith for this. And
so the forwards are basically neglecting the defensive system for Ottawa.
Exactly, and a lot of it, I believe, like the team loves DJ. Like the team itself, he's a people's coach.
sorry, just gotta fix my hair.
He's a people's coach, and the team absolutely loves him. Like I heard some rumblings that like. The team went to Dorian before he got canned. A whole nother story there.
That's bad.
And they talked to Dorian and they were like, do not get rid of DJ. We absolutely love him. Mm-hmm. And like some people can shit on that because it's like, oh, he's just for the people. Like he doesn't coach well, but like the team can just step on him and do whatever they want. But then like you look at it from the perspective of like, the team itself is like they want to play for this coach. They love him so much that they want to play for him. Yeah. And I just believe that I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't think he's one of the best coaches in the league, obviously. Yeah. But it just pisses me off seeing all these like fire DJ chants and like fire DJ on Twitter.
Well, I don't think he has like he doesn't have the no offense to the Sens, but I don't think he has the tools to work with to make them a Stanley Cup team.
I think he's doing well. Since he's been hired, he has not had a playoff roster.
Yeah.
Like, not a single playoff roster.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the other, and it's not even that, but, like, you look at the other teams in the Atlantic. You had Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Boston. Like, those top 4 teams right there alone, it's like, their rosters the last few years have been insane. That, like, it's like, how do the Suns even compete with that? Like, how can you blame DJ for that when the fact that they shouldn't be making the playoffs?
Well, yeah, the Atlantic it's fucking stacked.
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired of this. Like, oh, let's just put them in divisions where they're close to each other. Let's make that it. No, let's
like the bubbles or like the COVID year where they just threw the divisions.
Yeah, where they're like, oh, let's put all the Canada teams together. That is ridiculous. How about we have some balance in the system? God damn it! Put Detroit back in the West, okay? I don't care. Like, let's make divisions. Yeah, let's make a petition.
Arizona needs a new arena, and Detroit needs to be back in the West.
Exactly. Let's make divisions based off skill. Let's make divisions based off how they're gonna perform. We want playoffs that are gonna be entertaining, and they're gonna be how they should be. They're gonna be the best team versus the worst team in the division, or based off like complete like overall standings. You know what I mean?
I also like I get how they've done the divisions in terms of like proximity and stuff just for travel.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Yeah.
But why is it called the Atlantic and Carolina's in the Metropolitan when Carolina is on the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. And personally, I don't have any feedback for why that's happening.
God damn it, Robbie! You don't know the league this well, you motherfucker.
Oh no, I know where Carolina is geographically.
Yeah, well, you know what? Detroit's in the West.
Detroit was in the West. And why they are in the West, I don't know. Maybe it has to do something.
We joke about this, but they're pretty close to Chicago, who is in the West.
Well, yeah, but Chicago's so central.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Chicago's in the middle.
Division. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it would.
It is weird though. But they just gotta balance it so that there's an even amount of teams and everything.
I think they should just do playoffs based off overall.
Yeah. Like 1-8, you mean, or 1-16?
1-16.
So just like even if it was like 16 East teams?
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, like...
Because then you get the 16 best teams. No one's ever thought about that. Think about it.
I think
think about it. Go to sleep thinking about that.
Everybody's thought about that.
Have you? How deeply have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about it deeply because I don't have any points right now to argue against you.
Well, it wasn't part of the podcast. It wasn't supposed to be, but now it is. So how about you think about it now?
Okay, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it.
Like you go play a tournament, in frickin' God knows Woodstock in Ontario. Okay, I'm an Ontario guy. I'm thinking about Woodstock for some reason. You go play a tournament in Woodstock. You're doing they always separate into divisions. What if we just took the best teams and we made a playoff bracket out of that?
Yeah, and I mean, like, that could definitely work in a way, but I think the NHL just tries to market so much off rivalries, and that's why they have the divisions, and I don't love the division thing. I did like the 1v8.
I love that point.
But I don't know, 1v16 could be interesting. Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like they should try it.
I think they should try that. And you know what? Sometimes I do forget that at the end of the day, every professional sport is a business.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, all they're trying to do is make money.
No, 100%. That's all they care about. But
that's why there's so many freaking bet Joe whatever.
Bet Joe.
Bet Joe Mama.
No, you weren't supposed to go there. No, but then like I look at the MLB and I get so confused as to why like Tampa is in the East and then Miami's in the AL, and then Miami's in the NL.
I think the MLB is a completely different. Like the so AL weird. NL is weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah, the NL.
And like
AL
I heard,
is weird.
like somebody told me it was because like they wanted teams in the same area to be able to have like NL teams and AL teams are like the pitching thing, but now they don't even have pitchers hitting anymore.
Well, thank God. They're going to
What do you
hurt
mean?
themselves.
Some pitchers could rake, baby. Madison Bumgarner.
I was thinking about Bumgarner too. Bumgarner, Greinke. You know, Greinke was going to AL division games, and he wanted to hit regardless. But at the end of the day, like, pitchers shouldn't hit. But this is a hockey podcast, so let's not talk about that. Yeah. I think their divisions are proximity, but maybe at the end of the day, the playoffs should be the best.
And I mean, that's fair. Like, everybody grinds in the regular season, and it's 82 games, and like, you bust your ass off. But come playoff time, it's like that's when everybody takes it to a new level, and they play through injuries, and they like just absolutely they just grind like you've never seen before, and you see new players take it to new heights. Like, and then you see players who were good in the regular season not be good in playoffs because they just don't have it in them, and it's a whole new game come playoff time. But 1v16 would be super interesting because it's like those are the teams that
worked hard enough to make it to the playoffs.
Exactly. And I feel like the NHL would just be pissy about it because it's like you could get 16 West teams or you could get 16 East teams, and then you don't have like the best of the East in the league, but like it's like in the playoffs, sorry. But it's like, well, they didn't play well in the regular season. Why do they deserve to be there?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. It's like, it would be interesting. It would be very interesting.
Like, that would have been cool if they had tried it in the COVID season or in the bubble playoffs. Like,
yeah,
that would, like, because they did the what was it called? Not the buy-in, the play-in, the play-ins. Buy-in.
The buy-in. I'm playing poker over here, okay? Yeah, they had the play-in there.
Yeah, they had the play-ins, and I feel like the next year when they did the Canada conference, but I guess they were just, or the Canada division, they were just doing divisions, but it would have been cool to see the top 16 teams make it.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, they got to try it at some point. They've tried everything else.
They've tried absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, the league's been around for a while now, and you think they'd figure it out by now.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they had 6 teams in the league.
Yeah, and the way they make the Atlantic...
And that's when the Sens were a dynasty, baby!
But, at the end of the day, the way they make the schedule... you'll see more Atlantic Division teams face each other. So the division should even out based off like wins and losses and all that. But it doesn't turn out that way. And I feel like if maybe they kind of...
Now that I'm thinking about it, sorry to interrupt you there, but they still have to have divisions, right?
No, they'll still need divisions.
For travel schedule.
Yeah.
So some teams will play worse teams.
Yeah.
And have a better record.
Yeah.
So
no, that division still have to be there.
I know, but I'm saying, like, some teams will play the worst teams more.
Yeah.
And have a better record because of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're saying better teams are going to make 1v16, but it's like, Vancouver plays San Jose 5 times a year.
And San Jose is poop.
Yeah, exactly.
San Jose fucking sucks.
No, exactly. So it's like, that's kind of unfair.
When are they going to fold? That's my real question. When is San Jose going to fold?
It's kind
of all right, unfair. Put a team in Quebec.
It's unfair.
Take San Jose out of the question. We got enough teams in.
Bro,
where even is San Jose? California?
They to Houston and Atlanta before they go
Houston?
to Quebec.
Why?
I don't know.
Put another team in Canada.
Literally.
God damn it.
Okay, but anyway, back to my point. It's like Atlantic team division, or the Atlantic division teams will play harder schedules, and then like these teams have San Jose 5 times a year that they'll just shit on.
Yeah.
But then Atlantic teams will be a better battle, so the 1v16 won't really work in that sense.
So what my thought process would be base the divisions off the prior year, so that you're not going to have San Jose in your conference if you don't deserve that. You know,
that just screws travel schedules.
Well, fuck travel schedules. Okay,
I know, but it's so important in the sense that like these guys need rest.
Yeah,
and they live in, say, Ottawa.
Yeah, they need their 8 hours.
Exactly, they live in Ottawa. But
sleep through the day. I don't give a fuck.
If they're in a division with San Jose, that's 3 hours behind, and they're kind of screwed up.
Yeah, sleep through the day. Have a nap.
Fuck these guys. They're professional athletes. They make enough money.
Have a coffee.
They're under the microscope all the time.
Figure it out, okay? That's all I have to say. Figure it out, okay? Just like, let's make these teams even. Let's like, for God's sake, let's just go play at different teams' arenas. I don't care. Let's make it so that the teams line up. Okay, I want to see some
San
even.
San Jose's gonna play home games in Toronto now.
You know what? I'd go see a San Jose game in Toronto. I've never seen the San Jose Sharks play before.
And you don't want to.
You know what? That's a lie. I've seen a playoff game with them against Detroit before. And you know what? I'm pretty sure San Jose won that game. So
was that when Marc-Edouard Vlasic was relevant?
No, that was when Big Joe and fucking...
You mean Jumbo Joe?
Jumbo Joe.
Respect the man. He just retired.
Hey, congratulations on a great career, Joe. You deserve it. You're one of a kind. But anyways, that was like Patrick Marleau, Pavelski.
Pavelski's still relevant.
Pavelski is still relevant, but he was playing back then. Jumbo Joe.
Yeah, he's been playing for a while.
I didn't really pay attention to defense back then.
Marc-Edouard Vlasic would have been on the team because he's ancient.
Yeah. Let me just bring up a point, okay? Why would you ever want to be a defenseman growing up?
What do you mean?
Why would you ever want to be a defenseman growing up? That's what I mean. What's the fun in playing defense? Don't you want to score a goal or two?
Like that's fair as a kid for sure. But like,
I'm not thinking about NHL level. I'm thinking about growing up. Growing up playing hockey. What's the like?
I mean, nowadays,
what is the most memorable thing about a hockey game? Scoring a goal. Who cares if you poke check some guy in the neutral zone?
You have the people who are just born different and have that different mentality that want to win games and want to help their team to win games.
Well, good for those guys, but how about you score a goal for once in your life?
I know, but you have to defend to win games.
Yeah, you have to defend. But who wants to be a defenseman, you know? Who wants to play defense? Who wants to backward skate the whole game?
When we were growing up, I bet it was the kids that were just bigger that got thrown on defense.
It was the kids that were bigger and couldn't skate forwards. That's why.
I think everybody could skate forward. Backwards was harder.
I know this might be a hot take, but I think every single defenseman out there was someone who wasn't good enough at forward.
And I mean, you're probably right. But nowadays, like, you look at all these kids idolize some of the NHL defensemen that they want to play D because they're so dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at Makar and the way he can play and like, skate and like walk the blue line and shoot. And he's just insane. Like, his edge work's gross. And but like these kids idolize these guys now. But they want to play defense. But you're right. Back when we were growing up, it was like, why would you want to play defense?
No, why the hell would you want to play defense? Because you're tall, you're out of shape.
But I mean, like that. I guess that's
you don't know how to hit the net. Like, I don't know.
We had like Nicholas Lidstrom, and even further back, you had guys like Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey.
Yeah,
but like they were so offensive. Like, I don't think anybody played defense.
Every defenseman that's kind of been immortalized in the NHL is immortalized for their offensive
100% ability.
Like
100%.
You're not talking about, Joe Smokes, who fucking was really locked down but only ever had 3 points in his best career season. Like, you're talking about Bobby Orr, who scored over 100 goals or 100 points in a season back in fucking the dinosaur days,
I know, but like, the good thing is that GMs notice the lockdown guys. Like, you look at like the Sabres, and Mateus Samuelsson got locked up for another 7 years or 8 years or something.
Yeah.
And he only had like 1 goal in 60 games or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact stat, to be honest, but they noticed how locked down he was, and they locked him up for 7 more years.
Yeah.
And they were like, this guy's good. He's great defensively, and he absolutely is. He's a stud, and he's only like 23, 22 years old.
Yep.
So it's awesome to see that, like, some people notice it, but you're right. It's like, you just, a lot, like, the media and all that just focuses, like, so generally on offensive plays and offensive stats and all that they're like, oh, this guy's good, this guy's good. Like, you look at, like, Quinn Hughes, Erik Karlsson. Like, everyone was hyping up Erik Karlsson's 100-point season because of the defenseman.
But he was still a minus.
Exactly. But, like, a defenseman...
Unlike Justin Hall, +7. Fuck you, Leafs fans.
A defenseman hadn't put up 100 points in years. But then, like, the year before, Roman Josi had, like, 96 points.
Yeah.
4 shy of 100. And is actually good defensively. And Cale Makar won the Norris.
Yeah. No. The media will always have a bias towards offensive.
Oh, absolutely.
What's the word?
Well, look, that's just what they notice, and that's just what's prominent in the game, and that's what the NHL's done to change. Like, they've made so many changes for more offense.
Yeah,
because that's what people enjoy.
Well, yeah, you look at back in the '90s, like,
and that's
the
exactly
scores were like more than 4 goals more than every other game this year. Like, it's more exciting. People want to see goals. People don't want to see a poke check.
That's what we're talking about right now. Is the fact that, like, nobody wanted to play defense growing up because they just wanted to score goals.
Yeah,
but defense wins championships.
Exactly. I don't know what to do.
God damn it, people! Figure it out.
Figure it out, children. Do you want to be a defenseman? Do you want to win games, or do you want to be a forward and score goals? Who's bigger, you or the team? That's the real question. If you have any insights or opinions or things you want us to change, please let us know. This was the Puck Prattlers. This is Matthew Taylor.
Hello.
And Robbie Goche.
Goodbye.
And it was a privilege to share this very opinionated podcast with you guys. And it was a lot of fun. And I look forward to putting more out. I know Matt does too.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Watching or listening. And we look forward to dropping more episodes in the future. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode. So drop some comments on Spotify or YouTube and let us know what you want to hear. Thank you. Goodbye.